Good evening, everyone. My name is Ritika, and today we'll be dealing with the following topics. One is we'll learn what classes are, and then we'll learn what objects are, and then we'll learn how to create a class and an object. And the object contains few functions inside it. Okay, it is the built-in function. Those are init and str. Okay, we'll learn about these functions and then we'll move on to object methods and we'll end the class with self parameter. Okay, we'll also look at many examples following now. Firstly, let's move to Python classes / object. Okay, now in the first class I told you that Python is an object oriented programming language. Okay, so what is that object inside of it? It is a set of functions, a set of built-in functions that can perform many tasks. Okay. Now, this set of functions makes up a object. Okay. Now, set of objects make up a class. Okay. Class is like a blueprint for creating objects. Object can be anything. It is the user-defined one. Okay. The names given to the objects are user-defined. I can give the name of my object as anything. I can give it as A, B. Okay, I can give it anything. All right. Just what you have to know is class definition is that it is like a blueprint for creating objects or it is an instance of the object. Okay. All right. I hope I'm clear with the definition of class and object. Huh? Object, what is the main function of object is that there are many programs specified in the class, right? So I need to take my function that is required. I need a specific function from the class folder. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to create this object. I'll tell this object to go to the class and get me that particular function because I want to use it. Okay, object is basically a middleman. You're going to a classroom. Suppose you're going to a classroom and getting a chalk. Now, you are object. Class is a class or a folder. And the chalk that you're getting is a function or method. Okay. I hope I'm clear with the definition of class and object and its functions. Okay. Now we know what is a class and what is an object. Now, I want you guys to know how to create a class and an object. Okay. Now, look at this sentence that I'm highlighting over here. You can see that I told you you can give the names of class and objects on your own. Okay, it is the user-defined naming system. All right. So, class is my keyword. Okay, it shows that I'm giving a name to this class and my class is the name that I've given. All right. Now, with this, our class is created. Okay, and there is a colon in front of it. With this step, our class is being created. Now, there are a certain set of rules as to how to create a class. Okay, when you're giving the name of a class, it should start with a capital letter. Okay, upper cases should be used and the numbers cannot be used as class names. Okay, numbers cannot be used, special characters cannot be used at the beginning of the class name. Okay, only the upper cases are allowed to be used. All right. And if your class name is a mixture of two words, like in this example, my class, there are two different words, right? So the beginning of each word should be a capital letter. All right. And there should be no spaces in between the two words. All right. Yeah. After giving the name, you have to give the colon, which says that whatever you write after this colon will be a part of my class. Okay. I hope I'm clear now. Yes, now I've created the class. Now next objective is to create an object or create a variable. Now I know that there is a class. I want someone to go to that class and get me the chalk. So that someone should be created now. And in the next example, P1 over here is the object that we have created. Okay. Now, if you see the syntax of creating an object, firstly, it starts with the name of the object. Okay. Now, where you want this object to go, that is to my class, isn't it? So, my class is being written over here with the brackets, indicating that it is a class. Okay. This is the syntax. Object is going to my class. So, I have given P1 object that is going to my class. All right. Now, what is inside of my class? I have a variable x. To that I have assigned a value 5. Now, I want to print this 5 on my screen. Okay, you can tell me, you can directly print, write of print in bracket, you can write x, it will print. Okay, that is also a method. But this is also a method. You can choose any of the two. Okay, but this method is more helpful when you have complicated cases. This is an easy example I'm using for you guys to be understanding. Okay. Now, inside my class, there is a variable x. To that, I have assigned the value of 5. Okay, I want to print this x. All right. For that, what I'll do? Print p1.x. p1 inside this object. Now, whatever variables we have defined in the class will be a part of this object now. Okay. So, inside the p1 object, I am going to use x variable. So, there is a dot. Dot indicates that I am extracting the value of x from p1. Okay. I'll quickly run this code on my compiler and let you guys know how it works. Okay. Let me move my screen. Yeah. Here, in the first 2 lines, I have created my class. Okay. And I've defined a variable inside my class and assigned a value to it. Next, I've created an object P1 in the 3rd line that is going to use my class. Okay. And after that, I'm going to print the value of x that is being extracted from P1. Okay. I'm going to run it now. See, the 5 is being displayed as the output because I wanted to print the value of x. Now, if I change this to 58, I'll run it. It will be displayed again. Okay. I hope everyone is clear with this. If there is any doubt regarding this topic, please let me know. And you can let me know if you guys have any doubts in the chat box, okay? Yes, I hope there is no doubts. Now, we are done with what a class and object is and how to create it. Okay. Next is we'll learn the built-in function called as init function. Okay, init stands for initiating. Okay, initiating is nothing but starting something. All right. Now, just go through the following lines. As I told you, the above examples are simple and are not that helpful in real life applications. If you want to use a complicated example, in that classes are a must. Okay, the use of bracket in my class is that this my class has a set of functions and methods, right? So whenever you have those set of functions and all, it is denoted by brackets. The syntax of my class is using brackets. Okay, whenever you are calling a function, you use the bracket, right? Function name and bracket is used. Okay, in the same way, whenever you're calling a class or whenever you want to use the methods inside class, you need to make sure that you have brackets after the name. All right. If you miss these brackets, it will not be considered. Okay. It will be showing an error. All right. I hope I'm clear. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Now, after creating a class, I need to make use of all the functions present inside the class, right? Now, in the above example, there was only one variable involved. Okay, so it was very easy. And it was not even a communication between user and the developer. Okay, I'm not asking the user to give me input or anything, isn't it? But when we have complicated cases like that, or a little complex cases like that, we are going to make use of init function. Okay, I'll tell you how it is being used with an example over here. Okay, now look at the example. In this example, I have defined the class as person. I've given the name of the class as person. As you can observe, the capital P is the starting of the name of the class. Okay. I've given the name of the class. Okay. And I've given colon. So whatever is inside it will be a part of class. Next, I am going to define this function. Okay. Now, carefully look at this. I am going to define init function. So obviously init is written. Okay. And I've given underscore. That is the syntax of the function. Okay, there is no specific meaning to it. It is just the syntax of function. Yeah, and inside the bracket, I am going to pass three parameters over there. Okay, one is the self. Now, self is different from name and age. Okay, self is like an object. Okay, I am creating an object self. Okay, and inside self, I am giving two variables, that is name and age. All right. Now, what is the meaning of this whole statement? Inside the init function, I am going to pass three parameters, among which the first one is an object that contains the other two parameters called as name and age. Okay. Now, how do I get users to type in name and age? Firstly, I'll write the object. Okay. Self is an object. Inside object, which is the file or which is the variable I want to get? Name, right? Yeah. So self dot name equals to name. Equals to name is nothing but it is saying that the variable is a name. Okay. Object inside this, I want the age function and age is equals to age. Okay. Now, we are creating one more object. Self is also an object. We are creating P1 as also object. Okay. Now, careful. P1 is an object created to person class. All right. And inside person class, I am going to pass in two parameters. I told you, right? Name, John. Age, 36. All right. Here, self is not being used because self was an object. Self was an object that is different from name and age. Okay. Clear with this example? And in the printing time, I'm going to print P1 dot name and age dot, sorry, print P1 dot age. Okay, clear everyone? I'll quickly copy the code and I'll show it to you guys on the online compiler, how it works. Okay, I have to make a little changes quickly. Yeah. Class initialize the okay. You're asking me a question over here. See, I'll tell you what is the function of initiated function again. Okay. Now I'll go back to my slide for a minute. Yeah. Now, as you told me, it is just going to initialize the object's attributes. Okay, here. Okay. Self is an object. Okay. And name and age are the object's attribute. That is, name and age are the self's attribute. Okay. Attributes are nothing but variables. Don't mix up with the words. Attributes are nothing but variables. I told you, name and age are the variables that are a part of self. Okay. Now, self is an object. Okay. Clear? What it is going to do is, it is going to create an object called as self. And inside that, name and age are a part of self is what it is going to show. Okay. That is what is the function of it. And you have to use it within the class. Outside the class, it has no meaning. That is the whole purpose of this function. Okay. Are you clear now? If you still have doubt, please let me know. This init function is going to initialize the creation of an object and making the variables a part of that object. Okay? Yes. Now, going back to our example over here. All right. Now, see, what I want is, I want to display that name of a person is John and his age is 36. Okay. Now, I'll run it now. John and 36. Okay. Now, in this, you can see that I as a programmer, I'm going to give the input. Now, if you want the users to give input, what you can do is simply after self.age, okay, you have to go here and you have to say that name is equals to input. Okay, this statement is there, right? You have to make use of that and ask the users to give the name and remove this part. All right. That's how you're supposed to play with the examples. Okay. Now it is the programmer made one. How are you going to make it friendly for users to use? Okay. That's how you're going to think. Okay. Now, moving on to our str function. All right. Now, this function str represents a string. Sorry. Okay. So whenever we're talking about strings, it is written under the double quotes. First thing is clear. Next is, it tells us what should be returned back to the object. Okay, in the form of a string. In the other languages, you can see that we are returning the value 0 or 1, right? To the main function. It performs the same function over here, or the purpose of using this str function is the same over here. It is going to return a class object that is in a form of string. Okay. Now, quickly, I'll show you two examples. That is, one is with the string function and the other is without the string function. Okay. We are going to compare both of them and see which one is more useful. Okay. Yes. Now here, in this example, you can see that the string function is not being used. Okay. The same example is taken. That is, the name and age of the person is going to be displayed on the screen. All right. Quickly look at this for 1 minute. I'll show you with the string function. Okay. Now, this is an example using the string function. Okay. Look over here. This define string function is an extra one. All right. Yes. Now, I'll quickly copy these both codes. Okay, this code is already present, not this one. This code is already present. Okay, you have already seen after running it how output is shown. I'll show you once again. Okay, this much is done. All right, I'll show you the second one directly then. Second example. Okay, we're done with this one. We'll go to this. Before that, I'll go to my Google and get one more compiler. So it will be easier for you guys to compare the output. Okay, one second. Okay. I'm going to copy this one first. Just look at the code while I'm making the changes, okay? And let me know if you guys have any doubt. I mean, I have not explained the syntax of string function still. After I explain it to you guys, you'll understand that, okay? Give me 1 second. Okay. All right. Okay. Now I'll move the screens. I've made the following changes over here. I've made the indentation corrections. Okay. See, from first we'll look at the example. Okay. Firstly, we have given the name of the class, that is person. Okay. Inside it, I have defined an object that is called as self. Okay. With the help of initializing function, init function. Okay. To that, I have given variables called as name and age. Clear? Now, after that, I am defining the string function. Okay, inside string, I'm using the same self object. Okay. Now, whatever I want to print on the screen now, okay, I want to print the name of the person and the age of the person. Okay. But unlike this first example, I am not going to print it one below the other. Okay. I'm going to print it in the bracket. I'll run it for you guys. See, John, and in the bracket, the age is being specified, right? It is not compulsory that string function is used to make this format only. Okay, this is just an example. It is one of the formats you can make use of string functions as. Okay. Now, why this form is being shown or displayed on the screen is, carefully look here. I told you string function is going to be used to return a string value. Okay. Now, here, I have created an object called as f again. Okay. Now, I want this f to be displayed on the screen. Okay. When I say I want this f to be displayed, I say whatever is present inside the f. Okay. Yeah. Now, if you look at it, it is denoted with the double quotes, and inside double quotes, we have flower brackets and the normal brackets. Okay. Now, we have created an object called as f. Okay. Now, inside the double quotes, whatever we want to return, the value is being mentioned. Inside that, we are going to make use of flower brackets. In the first flower bracket, I am going to extract the name of the person from self. See, John and 36 is not object. Okay, John and 36 is the value that I want to be displayed on the screen. Okay, John and 36 are values. Name and age is variable. Self is an object. Okay. John and 36 are values that I want to be displayed. All right. It is not object. It is the value or the attribute, you can say. Okay. It is the data that I want to be displayed on the screen. Okay. They are not objects. Okay. Yeah. Self is an object. Name and age is a attribute or a variable. John and 36 is the data. Okay. Now see, when I'm returning this string, in the first flower bracket, I want the name to be displayed. Okay. And in the second flower bracket, I want the age to be displayed. All right. Now, see, if I remove these normal brackets and run this code, see, okay, I told you whatever is being mentioned inside the double quotes will be printed. Okay. But as we are not going to print the direct values over here, we are taking this value from somewhere else. For that, flower bracket is used. Okay, so whatever is being inside the flower bracket without a double quotes will not be displayed. Okay, it is as equals to print P1 here, right? The same way, instead of normal brackets, there is a flower bracket, and inside that the object is given. The same way as P1, because P1 is also an object. Okay. Now, clear with how you are going to use the str function? I guess you guys are clear with this one. All right. Now, after this, I want John and 36 to be displayed on the screen. No, why will you give data first before creating an object? You are going, see, you don't know from where you are going to get the chalk. Okay. You're just telling me go get the chalk. From where are you going to get the chalk? And who is going to get the chalk? Okay. If you write the data before creating an object, it is as good as, yes, you can use other letters in place of F. Okay, it is not compulsory. You can use A, B, C. Okay. If you're giving data first before creating an object, it is as good as there is a class and there is a chalk. Okay. You're telling me that much. Somebody has to go and get it. That part will be before, right? You're understanding? This data should be stored into something, right? That something should be created first. If you're going to store it in something, it should be created first, right? Then you are going to give in whatever you want to be stored. All right? Yeah, if you have any doubts like this, right, you can just go to Google and go to a compiler and try both ways. You can print it before creating an object and see if it will show an error or not. Okay, by that you'll be more clearer than this. Okay. Yes. Okay, clear, and we're going to print the values of P1 in the form of F. Okay. Now it may seem a little complex, right? Because the value of P1 will be returned by F. Okay. This is the whole point of using the string variable. The value of P1 or the value of any object will be returned by string function. Okay. This is pretty much it about the string function. Now, look at the code. Again, if there is any doubt, please let me know. I'll share these notes also. If you have any doubts, if the code is not running, please let me know. Okay. All right. We'll move on to the object methods now. All right. Now see, methods are nothing but functions. Okay. Methods are, see now, if you want the addition of two numbers, addition is the method. Okay, you write sum is equals to a plus b, right? So that sum is your method. Okay, method is a part of object. In Java and in Python, you're not going to make use of sum addition function, subtraction functions. There, instead of that, you're going to call them addition method, subtraction method. Okay, these are the key terms that you're going to use in this language. Okay, now let's try creating a method. Okay, now in the following example, firstly, a class is being created. Okay, and initiated function is being used. All right. Now see here, define my function. Okay, here my function is the method that we're creating. Okay, now the name of the name of this method is user defined. Okay, or the programmer defined, you can say. I can give anything as the name of my method. It is not compulsory that I have to give my function only. Okay, unlike initiated function. In initiated function, compulsorily init should be written. Okay, you can't give your own names over there. But here, when you're creating a method, it is dependent on you. You can give any name you want. All right. You can change the name of the method, but you can't do that in case of init. Or string function also, you can't do that because they are built-in functions. These are user defined because I am going to create the name. All right. Yeah. And inside I'm giving the variable as self. Okay. Now see, if I give self, what are the part of self now? Name and age are part of self, isn't it? Inside my print statement after that immediately, hello, my name is, I have the double quotes. And instead in C language, as we use amp and percentage D and all, right? In Python, we don't have that. We are just going to write plus and we are going to give the variable name. Okay, that will put in the value of that variable. As you can see, from the self object, I want the name variable. So plus self dot name. So it will extract this value, John. Okay. And here over here, p1 dot my function. This function is called over here. Okay. Clear, everyone? What is the meaning of this last statement is, whatever are the data given in the p1 object, okay, that are a part of person class will be displayed in my function. Okay, the values from p1 object will be displayed inside the my function. Okay, now this whatever is inside my function will be displayed on the screen. That is the whole point of writing this p1 dot my function. Okay. You can also ask me, why not person dot my function, right? You can't directly use the name of the class. You can ask me like, my function is part of class, so why can't I use it directly? Here, what you have to be careful is that you can't make use of the class name directly. Okay. Now you have a chalk in a classroom without someone going and getting it. I'm sitting at my chair. Now I want the chalk to come to me on its own. Who will get it for me? The class will not come and give it to me, right? Class is a non-living thing. It is like a folder. Okay. For that, I am going to assign someone such as this student, go and get the chalk from that class. So he or she will go and get it, right? Yeah, that student is a P1. Okay, that is why you're going to use it over here. All right, I'll quickly copy this one and put it in my compiler. All right. But by the time I make the following corrections, quickly go through this. Okay. quickly go through the code and let me know if you guys have doubt. Give me 1 second. I'll just do all the indentation part. Yeah, please let me know if you guys have any doubts. Let me know in the chat box, okay? Okay, give me 1 second. I'll just... Okay, P1 equals to my function. You guys have doubt in that? Yeah. I'll explain it to you. Yes, see, P1 is an object, okay? Now what this object will go do is, it will go to my function, okay? It will go to my function method, and inside that, whatever the value of P1 is there, right? It is going to give that value to my function.